Hello, Math Club. We're going to, in this one, start recreating this project on Cool Math Games that you have showed me, which is the Overstimulated game. I think you're familiar with it, obviously. But what we need here is to recreate basically 4 windows. That's what our game has. And each window is its own type of mini game. Number games to the left, letter games. Basically, these are your inputs. So games where you press things on the number pad go here. Games where you press keys, letter keys on the keyboard, go here. Games where you use the mouse go here, and games where you use the up, down, left, and right arrows go down here. And the way the game is played, you get flashed one of these, and you have a limited amount of time to solve the little puzzle or challenge. And if you can, well, you just gotta. It keeps throwing more up, and you gotta do them all within a time limit. So to recreate that, the first thing we're gonna do is create different what are called canvases. So we're gonna create 4 different places on the screen. You've already started, so I've made that already in this before recording. I believe you have something kind of like this. You guys are familiar with some HTML and CSS. We have a head tag, or I'm sorry, HTML tag element, HTML element. That's the root element of any HTML document. And think of it like a sandwich. You got your top slice and your bottom slice sandwiching. All this stuff is sandwiched in between, which means it's inside of the HTML element. So that's the HTML element's the page. The head section just connects us to this other file where we put the styles. But other than that, you can kind of ignore that. On this page, the body element contains all the visible content that the user will see. That includes a title, which is a heading 1 element. It also includes a wrapper element, which holds our 4 canvas elements. And then you have the 4 canvas elements. I gave the wrapper the ID of wrapper, and I named the canvas elements the number canvas, the letter canvas, mcan for mouse, and arrow canvas, rcan. I'm using these terms. Lastly, we have to load the script that's going to actually control the logic and behavior of the game, the responsivity. And then we just close it out, close out the tags. That's our file. That's what's on the screen. If that were all that we had, it would look, you would see this, but you wouldn't see anything else. What you can see here, this stuff is on the page with this typed in this file. And when we load the index.html file, we see what we have. But it's been styled, like there's a border, things have been centered. That's all in the style CSS file that is also created here. We just center align the text for the body. Remember that the way the CSS works is you grab elements in the index file, HTML elements. So again, body refers to this body element, the whole page basically. And so we said on the whole page, center the text. So that's why this is in the middle. We then grab the wrapper element, that div with the 4 canvases inside, and we just set its size and put a border on it and try to center it. But I don't want things kind of centering and overlapping inside, so I just did left align. So that's how this is made to appear the way it does. Where we're really going to start now is making the game play. You can see I got a script going that just has a little bit of stuff in it so far. I think you're kind of already here. all that this script does is it first grabs from the document, the index, the HTML document, it finds the element who has the idea of the number canvas. That would be this canvas. It grabs that. Whoops. So we grab the number canvas and we call it a number can here in the JavaScript file. We also grab the letter canvas, the mouse canvas, and the arrow canvas. We need these things, we need to be able to handle these things in JavaScript, in our programming language here. And so we've set ourselves up to be able to do that by giving them names. We've declared that these names mean these things in this file here, this script. So those 4 things have been called in. There's then the next 4 things where we just say get a 2-dimensional, a 2D context for this canvas. That basically just says bring in a bunch of tools that help us draw in a 2-dimensional way on our canvas. We have such a context for all 4 canvases, and these are now referred to as NC, LC, MC, and AC. I've only started looking at the NC one, so we're going to start with just one of these. And with move to, I just move there's like an imaginary cursor that controls the pen, the drawing. We sort of move the pen to the upper left, 0, 0, and we draw a line to the corner of the box on the other side, 200 right, 200 down. We say line to, not move to, which means here you sort of move the pen without the pen touching the paper, so to speak. Here you move the pen while it's down. So you sort of write a line there. It calculates what it will draw in that way, but it doesn't actually make the mark until you tell it to now create the stroke, create the mark. And so that's how that works. So in the next one, I will set up, that's just to test it out. I can probably do this to all of them, actually. So I've just copied and pasted those. And so we'll do the same thing for the LC. We'll do the same thing for the MC. And we'll do the same thing for the AC. I'm going to save that. And when I refresh the page to see the changes, these things are not stacking the way I was hoping. But you do see them. So I do have the 4 canvases. They've unfortunately stacked on top of each other. So I'm going to have to make these be what are called inline elements instead of block elements. So in HTML and CSS, some things, when you put them in, they stack vertically. But you can set them not to do that. You can have them stack one right after the other, so long as they have somewhere to go and they fit. If they reach the ends, they start stacking. They go down a line and start stacking that way. I think all that we have to do to fix that is go to Style and say any canvas element should be display, not block, which is the default, but inline block and no effect. So we will have to fix that.